Hey everybody, this is Tanya back with Shooting Star SVG, and I have gotten a lot of good feedback on my blog post on growing your Pinterest following with Tailwind. And I was gonna go live, but my kids have been pretty crazy, so I'm just gonna create a quick video to go through Tailwind, what it is, how you can utilize it, and the benefits. So one thing that I like to always show, and we'll show this live in my Pinterest analytics, is this is when I first started pinning. And I started the beginning of August with Tailwind, and I just updated my analytics, and it has clearly done a phenomenal job as far as impressions and engagement. Now, mind you, I do this part-time, so I don't post a ton. I do 15 pins a day, maybe spend an hour a week, if that, on it. And when I show you how to go through everything, you will see how quickly everything can be done once you get the hang of it. And it took me a little while. I do get a good amount of income on my website, as well as my Etsy store, as well as my design bundles store. And I do get a good amount of affiliate income from this through design bundles as well, especially when I'm sharing pins that are very engaging. And that's kind of where we want to go with that. So first things first is you want to make sure that you have a Pinterest account, and we'll get into the analytics in a minute. I had that set up. I do have a business account. Right now I have about 63,000 monthly viewers. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all engaged. And I have separated my Pinterest out into different boards that are gauged towards SVGs, which is what I sell. And I've kind of labeled them into categories. Now, mind you, I've only been doing this for a few months. I know people have been doing this for a year. They have a lot more pins, a lot more engagement, and I'm constantly adding boards for certain categories that I'm interested in and I design towards. And I'm also looking into creating some other boards that are just, I don't know, general outside of the design world as well. I also have a few group boards that I'm a part of. So you want to make sure that before you start your Tailwind journey that you do have a Pinterest set up, that you do have several different boards that you can post to, and that's really what's going to help you out, okay? So make sure your Pinterest is set up, and then once you have that, you can go ahead and get started with Tailwind. Now, I went ahead and logged out, so what you'll see when you click on my link is this screen here, and it will say that you have a $15 credit from one of our members waiting for you. This will also give me a free month, so I would appreciate if you are planning on using Tailwind to go ahead and click on that affiliate link. That will help me save a little bit of cash. I know $15 can seem a little bit daunting for some, but the way I look at it is it's 50 cents a day. I would say that my Pinterest revenue now is a good 10% of what I make every month. So I clearly get that $15 back. The good thing about Pinterest is these pins never die. In Tailwind, you can also do smart loops where you're repinning your most popular content. I currently do not have smart loops set up, but I will go into that once I do set those up and post another video for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and log in so that you guys can see what I'm looking at when I go through. When you log in, you will have a dashboard on your profile performance, and it will show you your followers and your pins and repins and all of that over the past week. I'm pretty sure that you can change that metric up here, so you can do it over the span of, a month or whatever. It will show you your virality score, which is how viral your pins are, your engagement, as well as your engagement rate. And that goes up as you play around. There's also some other very good insights in here that are useful. They do have a board insights, And basically what that does is it takes all of your boards. It talks about what pins you have in there, what kind of repin action you have, and what your engagement score is. And obviously the higher the engagement score, the better. So you can actually use these to figure out what boards you have to work on to get them up. Okay, so it's very, very useful. The first thing that I always do when I come in is obviously my dashboard is present. I go ahead and look in my publisher and I go to my schedule pins. Okay, and you can see here on the right hand side all of my scheduled pins. I have everything scheduled out, it looks like, until about Tuesday, so I have some work to do. I try to make sure that I have at least a week at a time, so I really don't have to think about this and that it's kind of on autopilot, right? You can go ahead and shuffle your queue at any time. So sometimes when I'm posting, and you'll see this in a minute, I will put one pin in a few different boards. I just like to go ahead and click shuffle after I do my pinning to make sure I'm not pinning multiple pins next to each other on different time slots. Okay. So the other important thing to know is you can go to your schedule. And the cool thing about Tailwind is they'll actually give you time slots where you have the most engagement. And you can add time slots or subtract time slots as you see fit. So you can recreate your schedule based off of that. And basically, they will ask you how many times that you want to pin a day. I used to do 25. It got a little bit overwhelming for me, so I just down that to 15. And that seems to be working well for me. They say that you should really not be posting more than 25 a day because it can tend to be a little bit spammy. It's whatever that you think is best for you. I do not recommend more than 25 a day, but that's just me. I don't just use Tailwind. I also get on Pinterest and actually pin live when I'm bored. So there's that as well. And even though sometimes you say you want 15, they may add a couple more or not have as many based off of what your engagement is, but it all kind of evens out. So you can set your schedule up. And here's where you'll also see the smart loop. And like I said, I haven't gotten into that yet, so I'm not even going to delve into that. But it is there for you to use, okay? So just before I go into the tribes portion of this, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys my analytics. And I will show you that when I first started out was August 5th. So I'll show you through that week. Whoops. I don't know why it did that. So we'll do 1 to 6, okay? You can see like my stats were ridiculously low. I did not use Pinterest at all, and I eventually was like, you know what? These things last a lot longer. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. So from August 1st, we'll say to September 5th, my growth jumped about 1,000%. Okay? Right? It's pretty crazy. So that was after 1 month. After 2 months, I had a 4,000% growth. And like that was really mind-blowing. So you can see from the 1st to today, which is the 19th, and I have not been very active over the past month. I've been busy with some other things. I've had a 4,000% growth in impressions, a 4,200% growth in audience, a 4,700% growth in engagements, and a 6,500% engaged audience growth. To me, that's just crazy. Now, mind you, I did have a pin of one of my designs that did really shoot high, and it was this pin here and this pin here, which were two very popular designs that I created, and they got shared very, very frequently. So that was good. The nice thing about Tailwind is when people are sharing your pins, if they have a very large following, you'll also absorb some of that as well. So it's very, very useful. Okay. So let's get into tribes really quickly, and then I'm going to go through how I super pin, as I like to call it. Okay. So when you click on your tribes, it's going to pop up with what other people have shared in the groups. So if you click, I'm a part of 4 tribes. These are all related to Silhouette and Cricut and SVGs, as well as design bundles. And you can see how much new content is provided. You can click here just to hide what other pins were already scheduled. If you don't want to pin something and you want it out of your queue, you could go ahead and click the hide button and it'll skip it from your feed and go away. I try to kind of pin as much as I can to help people out, and kind of go from there. And then when you click on yours, you can actually see what content you've added to the tribe. And it will show you, I just added these 2 today. And it will show you how many people have reshared your content. Okay, so if you click on it, it will show you the 4 people that have shared, how many pins they have scheduled, if they have been published yet, how many repins came out of that, and how many impressions are potential. So this one share here got me about 26,000 views and 12 repins, which was, really cool. So you can check those that activity on your pins when you look at it. And same thing for here. Okay. Keep in mind, some of these people stack their queues, so they may be resharing, and it might not get there and for a little bit. You can see here that this one hasn't even been shared yet. It's scheduled, but it's not hit the queue. So, and usually when these are scheduled, you'll see a spike in your views. So you can go between different groups and see what's there, hide what you don't like, okay, or that you're not interested in sharing. I only share things that I'm interested in. And if there are things that I've already shared, I tend to hide them because sometimes there are duplicates because we're all a part of, the same kind of communities. All right. So you have the option to go and find a tribe. This is the first thing that you're going to want to do when you come in. So if you're selling SVGs or planners or wall art or whatever it is, you want to kind of search for a group that has that same vibe to it. That's why they're called tribes. It's the same people doing the thing that you're doing. And I will go ahead and search, see if I can find something for planners. And when you go ahead and look, it will show you what results pop up. Okay. And you can see if you can join, which means it's a public group, or you can request to join, which means it's private and you will have to get approved. You also have how many members and how high their activity is. I tend to go to groups that have a mid-grade amount of members and a high amount of activity. You don't want to join a tribe that has a low amount of activity because you will not get as many reshares. Okay. And you can see all of the different types of groups that have planning put into their thing. This actually looks like a good group. That was a pretty large one. I'm just going to go ahead and type in, I just screwed up, wall art, and see if anything comes up. And it looks like there are some groups on printables, which is cool. This one doesn't seem too bad. It has a fairly good amount of activity, a good amount of members, beautiful printables, a public group. And you just have to kind of go through and be a little bit smart about what kind of tribes that you want to join. And I'm looking into, maybe blogging. So you kind of can go through and see different types of tribes that are related to blogging. And then for me, again, SVG. We're not like a large presence here, but I'm a member of most of the higher activity groups. Okay. And I'll actually go ahead and request to join this board so I can just fill it up. You can add a personal note. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to look at your website and your Pinterest account to make sure you're not spammy. And I don't blame them, because a lot of people will hop in here and just try to spam out and go. So you can join a maximum of 5 tribes, and you can pin a maximum of 30 unless you utilize a power up. And basically you just spend a little bit more money a year to submit more content and become a part of more tribes. I'm not there yet, so I may eventually go to Tribes Pro, but right now I'm satisfied with my basic membership. And again, if you break it down to $15 a month, if you're paying monthly, it's 50 cents a day. If you're making 1 sale a day, you're covering your cost of Tailwind and then some. So it's highly recommended. All right. I'm trying to keep this video down, but it's a lot of information to go through. So I want to make sure you guys are understanding. So now that we've gone through tribes and how they work and how to join one, I'm just going to go ahead and show you a few and pin a few from tribes. So this is, to me, it's love, so it's Valentine's Day related. And this one is going to go into my awareness board. And let's see, this is a bundle, so it'll go into my bundle board. And you can put as many boards as you want in. Ooh, this is a cool one. It's for mockups. I have a mockup board. You can go ahead and click add to queue. Add to queue. Add to queue. Add to queue. And what these are going to do when you click on that, okay, so you go back to your scheduled pins, and you'll see that those 4 that I had just added on have been inserted into my queue in the next available time slot. Okay? So that's how you do that directly from tribes. Now, I do a lot of pinning for my tribes because I like to build up the community. Why not? We're all paying members for the most part. But the nice thing you can do, and we're going to use my $1 deals right now, okay, is you can go in and you can pin from really anywhere if you get this handy dandy Tailwind extension, okay? I recommend that you get this for Chrome if you are using Tailwind. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to click on it, and it's going to pull all of the pictures from the site you're on. So we're just going to go ahead and click on all 10 of these, right? And you're just going to click on go to schedule. Now, one thing that is a little bit of a pain in the butt, so if you're doing affiliate marketing, or you want them to go directly to the design, is you have to pull the links. Now, I'm not going to pull the links for these, and the reason why is because these are all $1 for the month of October only, and there's 10 of them. So it's not like I'm bringing them directly to the like the Thanksgiving section. So it's going to actually auto-populate this link up here because that's where it's pulling all the pins from, okay? So when you go back, it's going to have this pop up here. And the quickest way to do it is you can add these all to a board if you want, and then it will auto-populate that board into all these categories, okay? And I don't want to do that, but for this one, I'm going to go ahead. I'll keep that one the way it is. This one is Halloween related. This one is Halloween related. That one is Halloween. That one is Halloween. I think most of these are Halloween for October. This one's Thanksgiving. And this one is Thanksgiving. And this one is also Thanksgiving. So, all right, we got them all filled in. They're going to pull the description from whatever the title is. And I'm just going to add in that these are $1 for October. And I'm going to put that in the description of all of these just so people are aware. And I might be able to get some more traffic this way because people will click on the pins. And then when you're done and you're satisfied, you can go ahead and click schedule all, right? And it's going to sit and do, and then just click close, and it'll close that window. And then you can go back to your schedule, and you will see that all of the pins that you just pulled are now in your queue. And you see how those double posted like that? Because I put 2 groups in each. That's where you just go ahead and click shuffle. It's going to move everything around, and you're good. All right. So you can do that by pulling off websites. I also do this on design bundles because I do a lot of affiliate marketing as well through them. So it's a good way to earn some extra income as well. They basically give you some graphics as well as a referral link, and you can go and pull some affiliates. I've been doing this for about a month. I've made over $300, so for me, it's worth it. What I like to do is I will go into the free designs resources and wait for some to load up. This is a little bit more difficult because, again, it pulls from this source pin up here. So when you schedule, you can add this with your affiliate referral link at the end, which is what I tend to do because then I can scroll through to find it. Or I will just right click on the link, open it up in a new tab, and drop that in. But it's the same process. You go ahead and click on the scheduler. It's going to pull all the photos. You click on which ones you want to share, and you click go to schedule. Another way that I also do this is I will go to the home screen, and I will say that I am looking for Christmas SVGs. Let's say I'm looking for funny Christmas SVGs. Okay. Pinterest is going to pull a bunch of stuff. Okay. So if you clicked on the extension right now, it's only going to pull the photos that are loaded. So if you want to pin a crap ton, you can go ahead and pull down to load up more photographs. Okay. And then you can go ahead and click your extension scheduler. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull all of the photos, and you can see this bar going and going. Okay. And you can go ahead and click on what ones that you want to share. So we'll do this one. Let's see this. Some of this stuff is, you got to be careful. I want to make sure that I'm not clicking on anything that is copyright or trademark. This is from the movie Elf. And obviously the Grinch. I'm not gonna do all that. So I tend to go through these pretty quickly. And go through. So I got 28 new pins. You go ahead and click go to schedule. What makes this cool is that they're all related to Christmas, so I know they're all going to go into the Christmas board. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to scroll through and make sure everything has a source website in a description, because if it doesn't have those, they won't pin. This one does not, so I'm going to trash it. This does, this does, this does. This one doesn't. So what happens is sometimes people will pin and they may not have a source URL, or they have been removed, and it will warn you when you go to pin that everything must have one or it will not be successful. So it is a little bit time consuming to go through and do this. But again, it's worth it because I will pin this and then I don't have to worry about 2 more days of scheduling. So again, it takes me about an hour to schedule a 1 week, which really isn't that bad. These toilet paper things are really making a comeback too, I noticed, which is kind of funny. When you're done, go ahead and click Schedule All. Close out of that window. I'm going to go ahead and close out of Pinterest. You can go ahead and refresh your schedule. And again, when you go back, you see all those pins that I just pulled, and even the ones on multiple boards are good. So now I'm good through next Friday, which is awesome. You go ahead and click Shuffle, and it's going to shuffle that up for you. And that's that. It's pretty straightforward. So again, you can look at that growth there. We just looked at the growth. It's really gone mountains and mountains, and it just continually increases every day, every month. If you click on my link, you will actually get your first month for free if you haven't signed up for Tailwind before. So that's your $15 credit right there. And again, if you do use that sign up link, which I will post at the bottom of this video, I will also get a free month. You can go through the blog post, which I will leave at the bottom of the video, and it will also have a walkthrough that you can go back to, all right? And you can also go through and see stuff about your schedule and how the Chrome extension works as well, if that was a little too quick for you, okay? So again, a really useful tool for time management, a really useful tool to help grow engagement to your Etsy store or wherever else that you're trying to drive traffic, because people are always all up on Pinterest. So if you like this video, please click subscribe below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions about Tailwind. Please feel free to drop any comments in the video or reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you. There's another post on vertical pins and how you can take care of that, which is in the blog post as well, which will help, but you don't necessarily pin just all vertical pins or create them. Again, I can answer any questions you may have on how this works. I feel pretty comfortable with it now, and I do know some other people who are a lot more successful than I am. So yeah, I hope that you guys got something out of this, and if you need anything else, just let me know. Have a great night.